Rangers lost on Saturday to Motherwell, and then soon as myself, Jack Butland and Philippe Clement on a stage on Sunday night, and much to everybody's shock and surprise, no disrespect to Hearts, Celtic lost.
Absolutely.
So, the great and the good that came on Sunday night were in the mood to celebrate. Even the neutrals who were there had a blast, and it was quite a night. It really was quite a night.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I am quietly, without too much partisan, rooting for Rangers to win the SPFL.
Why is this?
I don't know why. Brendan irritates me a little bit, and I think that some of his behaviour at Leicester wasn't great. And I like to see Scottish football getting a good profile and two competitive teams at the top of it from the old firm, really going neck and neck, making it a championship race, making it competitive, make it have an edge. You've got a really good manager in the Rangers dugout now that's an equal of Celtic.
Oh, totally.
And so Rangers are in a position where they so from that point of view, I kind of have to say I did snigger by my hand to see Celtic getting beat.
Simon, all the talk in Glasgow, predictably enough, over the weekend was the old firm. Rangers losing somewhat surprisingly at home on Saturday to Motherwell. Then Celtic travelled across to Edinburgh and lost at Tynecastle. Graham Souness had plenty to say on that on Sunday night, not least questioning whether or not Celtic have got the backbone to win another title. So that hasn't gone lost in Sir Rod this morning. So Rod Stewart just messaged me, you know Souness as well as I do, and he knows that if the penalty had gone in and we'd have kept 11 men on the field, Celtic would have won comfortably at Tynecastle. Stop kidding yourself, Graham, says Sir Rod. I'm not so sure. We don't know. I mean, it's all about ifs and buts, and a lot of swings this way and that to happen before we know the destiny of the Scottish League title. But what we do know is it all meant that Rangers was still top of the shop with a 2-point advantage over Celtic with 29 games played. I was on stage with Philippe Clement in his first season, of course, as Rangers manager. We were on stage at the SEC in Glasgow on Sunday night, and I spoke to him by and large about life at Rangers. Asked him how he'd found it thus far.
Yeah, I never seen a city with so much passion for football. So it's great to live there and here, and even greater to work here. It gives so much energy to see all the joy of the people. So that's are the things that are important for me.
Has it surprised you? I mean, you knew it was a passionate football city, but with Rangers, Celtic, and everything that goes with that, have you been surprised?
Not really surprised, because I spoke a lot with Thomas Buffel before I came, who played there before. So I knew a lot of things already, but still, if you live it, it's different than when you hear it. So it's great to live here, and it's great to play in Ibrox also with these enthusiastic fans and a lot of energy that they give to the team.
They've taken to you. The supporters have taken to you. What is your philosophy? How do you like the game being played?
Yeah, I want dominant football. I want a team with a lot of intensity. I want a team that creates a lot of chances, but in a good structure, not giving away chances. And in that way, the most important thing for me is to win games and to win trophies and to be the best. So in that way, I think we have a really good match, because those are also all the things that people in the club want. That's why from the first moment, the talks were really good between us.
It was a strange weekend. We saw your Rangers lose and then Celtic go and lose at Tynecastle. That doesn't happen very often, but it keeps you in front.
Yeah, but I'm not calculating too much. Of course, I prefer that the other team lose as many points as possible. We were disappointed yesterday after the game, losing that game, because if you see all the stats after the game, it's a game you need to win. But that's also part of football, to accept that in moments afterwards. The guys pushed until the end to win this game, but the things didn't fall our side, and then you need to make the right conclusions. We did some mistakes. We need to learn out of that, and out of that even grow more than they've been doing until now.
And of course, next up for you, Benfica in the Europa League. Is there a way past them? Can you find a way past them?
There's a way to pass everybody, I think, with the mentality that in the squad now. But we need to be really 2 times on our toes at our best level. You need some luck also, because it's a team with a lot of talent, a lot of young, good players, but also with a much bigger budget than Rangers. So if we could qualify against them, it would be a really, really huge thing, I think.
That was Philippe Clement, Simon, in a quiet corridor in the SCC Armadillo before he got in front of 2,000 people on Sunday night, and by God, he realised then what it means to people to win football matches in that part of the world. But he gets it, doesn't he?
Oh, I think he knows that already. He's been managing Rangers now for the best part of 6-7 months, hasn't he? He's got the memo. He knows what the expectations are. And as he told you, he's spoken to other people that have played here before. And as I've said to you before, and as Souness has said when he's been in here, irrespective of the fact that Souness chose Frank Lampard and now seems to have pivoted to some sort of claim that he's involved with Philippe Clement's appointment.
Well, Clement had a laugh about that on stage, which was good.
But I was impressed from the first interview he did with the media. And I'm not surprised that he's been able to galvanise Rangers from the slump they'd gotten himself into with Michael Beale to a formidable outfit that are now challenging and have their own destiny in their own hands. So they can win this league. If they win all their games, which is entirely possible, then they can win the league. And I mean, Celtic are not in great nick, and it'll be fascinating to see when they go head-to-head in Ibrox, I think in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, how that one plays out. But I think he's got a lot about him, and people from that part of the world tend to have some substance and some respect about how they manage themselves in the media. They often appear thoughtful and concise and strident and very definite in their thinking. And I took that away from him when I first heard his press conference. I thought to myself, we've got a live one here. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, when I asked him, is there a way past Benfica? There's a way past anyone if you get it right.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way past Man City if you're Rangers.
No.
But I do think there's a way past the obstacles that are in his path in terms of the level that Rangers are at this current moment in time with the finances that are available to them in comparison to the Man City argument. Yeah. But I think he is a very capable operator, and I think they've made a very wise decision in bringing him in.
Yeah,
and what it does is it makes it a very interesting SPFL because you've got real rivalry. You know, I'd like to see some of the other teams be doing a little bit better, but notwithstanding that, it's all good, and if we can just get these two clown colleges of football clubs in Celtic and Rangers management to stop this ridiculousness of not allowing fans inside the stadium from the opposition, we might even have more value in the Old Firm derbies.
Would you have expected to have seen more from Warnock, your old chum Neil Warnock at Aberdeen? They lose 2-1 to St Mirren at the weekend. That's 1 win in 7? 1 win in 7 for Warnock at Aberdeen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his brief was, but his brief wasn't to win 1 win in 7. I haven't followed all the results, but I do every now and again have a look and see what they're doing. I mean, I know they've had a couple of results that he would have been disappointed in, and we've seen a couple of Neil-like outbursts. I would suspect that by the end of the season, the job that he was brought in, he would have done. So, no, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, how many of those games have they lost?
Well, they've lost 4. 1 win in 7, and they've lost 4. I mean, they're 10th. They've won 6 and 28. Obviously, most of that happened before he arrived in the scene. But they're 10th in a 12-club league. Yeah,
not great, and that's not quite what they would have expected. And and the owner of that football club is Cormac, isn't it?
Dave Cormac. Yeah.
Dave Cormac is quite a bright operator. I still maintain, and it might be because I'm partisan and a slight bias towards Warnock, that whatever job he would have been brought in the long run, at the end of the season, he will have done.
Okay. Next up for Rangers, as we mentioned, this trip to Portugal to play Benfica. It's a massive game, that. The round of 16 Europa League. And that is the first leg. Thereafter, it's the Scottish Cup for them. Celtic at home to Livingston on Sunday. Hibs for Rangers. Rangers go through to Easter Road to face Hibs. And I love that. Ewan, big Celtic fan, a friend of this show. I love that, Ewan. You've been listening this morning. They, Rangers, still need to play us, Celtic, twice. And we've already beaten them home and away this season. Calm down, everyone. Just a bit, says Big Ewan. You're not wrong, Ewan.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.